Yeah, so let me share my screen again. So on the last couple of weeks, I think there was a big break last week, so I hope we had a good time off. So this week we're going to talking about JavaScript object. So in the last week we've started with Java basis of JavaScript. We talked about some of the variables, data type, and some other things. Just to recap, the last session we discussed about loop and a bit of JavaScript array. Um, so we talk about how we can iterate through array using for loop. So the other loop for like while loop or while loop and all. So this week we'll be talking about JavaScript object. So, like we all know, all object is when we have an object, in the way we describe an object, imagine have a car. A car is an object. So we can have several type of cars basically. So cars can have different properties. Some can be of blue colors. Some can be, of course, we all know that every car has four wheels, um, maybe some unique features. So those features are like the properties of the object. And when you talk about the behavior of the object is what can the object do? Okay, behavior in this sense can be like methods in the programming language word. Like, okay, the car can move, it can reverse, it can you can move forward, backward, and some other stuff can do with cars. That's just to give you an high level of what Java object is. So object is actually in JavaScript just actually a data structure that actually related that store related data as key values. So I know we've discussed a bit of it's kind of I'm sure I don't know if you're already familiar with map where you just have you have a mapping a value with the key and value. So JavaScript object stores related data as key and value, where each key uniquely identify its value. So you can have value or properties. Property can be primitive type, can have function, just within an object. So some of the objects can be mutable, some can be dynamic type, and all. So just to give an high level of what we want to discuss today. So looking at the slides, objects basics basically. Object as they described in this is another type of an array. We discussed an array in the past, and you can index using a string or symbol. Is actually aka associative array or key value array basically. So our object stores its value, a key value pair. So we have some object literals. Basically, let's say like just like an example here. Let new object equals curly bracket. The key is a string and the other key is the value and 63. So a key and other key are called properties in terms of it are the properties. Why a string and 63 are the value of those properties, basically, like mentioned there. So key and other key are called keys or properties of the object. So there are several ways we can assign objects. So you can assign object using the dot function, the dot um accessing it through the dot using dot or using the bracket. So you can so the first approach is specifying the name of the object and the key you want to access basically. So the key will now retrieve the value. So the result will be the value. And as well, if you want to get it using a dot function or dot, you do the new object dot the key, and it returns the value as well. So you can reassign the value of an existing key. So I'm sure we're still going to show this maybe through a demo, but just to let us know, you can reassign the value. Imagine you already have a key um, as or other key as 68. We can reassign, say, new object equal to other key equals to 57. So the new value of the new object is 57. Um, so I know I actually love to demonstrate this as we go, just to let it sink. Let me bring up, let's try with an ID this time. Yeah, so just to demonstrate this, so imagine we have, let's say, let, um, let, let's say car equals, car equals, so like you said, this basically is an object. Why is it an object? Because it has a curly bracket. Using a curly bracket indicate that this is an object. We can actually say, let's figure out what the type it should be. So if you say type of car, what should be the type of car? So I believe type of car should be, let me console log it. Console log. Let's see. So what will be the type of this car? Yeah, so see, it says it's an object. Why is it an object? Because it's because of this curly bracket. So if we change this to say, this is a, so what type is this? What type is this again? Just to recap from our previous class, what type would it be? Someone tell me.
Array.
Yeah, so that's right. So it's still an object. Remember, like we said, um, an object is also a type of an array. So in the broad shell, in the general term, all are objects, but we all know that specifying this as a bracket, square bracket, it's basically an array. So I will leave that for now. And so let's say the car, let's say the name of the car, or let's say it has a property called name, say Toyota here, and it also has color. So have some color. The color is blue. What other property can we have for a car? Can someone help me? Just make it more interactive, yeah.
Number of
Well,
doors.
yeah.
Yeah, it does. So does just say five or four, anyone. So now this is basically an object. We can we actually are at the point where we're able to check, are we able to assess, how do we assess the value of an object? So let's say we have let's or let's just console log it. Console log. So what do we want? How do we assess the value name from what we've mentioned? Who can tell me? Sorry. Can someone tell me how do we access this value Toyota in the log?
With dot notation.
Yeah, dot. So we can access it using dot notation. So say okay, let's format this and say I have a car, uh, a dash car. Let's say a dash car. just trying to come up with imagine I say want to print something like I have a dash car, the name of the car, or a blue a maybe say color, let's say color, the color of the car and the name of the car. Maybe I have a blue car with four doors, dash doors. So this is what we want to print. So um I'm thinking this should be I have a so we need the name of the car. We need the color of the car first. So we need cars. We need what do we need? The, okay, yeah. I have the yeah. We need I have a blue car. Oh, let me do this. Just trying to format the name. I have a car dot blue the color with dash doors. How many doors? So we need to retrieve the number of doors as well. So we have car dot doors. Yep. So this should give us what? Just going to clear this out again, clear output. So you can see it printed out. I have a blue car with four doors. I'm not sure. Are we familiar with this string formatting? Are we familiar with it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's called string interpolation. So you can easily format the string values. So basically, this one of the ways to access, but the essence of doing this is just show you how we can access the value of each keys in the object. So in the other way, let's try the other way. So you can use a square bracket and say, okay, this does it do the same thing? Let's see. So we need to use I think you need to do it this way. Yeah. So it gave us the same result. I have a blue Toyota with four doors. So those are the two ways we can use to assess the value basically. That's just to demonstrate that quickly. Um, so we've talked about assessing and assigning. Also, like you said, can reassign a new value. So imagine you want to add the new property. Let's start with the new property. Let's start with the new value first. So in case you want to add and update the doors. So how many doors? See, okay, you got a new car and it's still Toyota and blue, but now it's now five doors. So what we can do is update the value. And if we try to reprint this, let's see, let me clear this again so we can see what is there. Take up this one. So if you run this, you see that it's the first one printed. I have a blue Toyota with four doors. Now I bought a new car. It's now five doors because family size. Uh, so it's also printed out. I have a blue Toyota with five doors. So that's the just to demonstrate how we can reassign value. So imagine you now have can someone tell me what other properties we can have for a car? So we can update a property, adding a new property to a car. Can someone tell me, sorry, please?
Do model,
Okay, model. Okay. The model is
Camry,
say that again?
like a Toyota
Camry.
Camry.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so we can try these and okay, we have a Camry and what happen if I have a new, let's say a new Camry a new blue Camry car. Camry, a new, or I have a blue Camry Toyota car. Let me just see. Let's do this. So if you want to add a new property, so we can do cars that now we need to get the model of the car, and let's try to print it out now. So we can see that typically it updated our car object with the new properties. So those are the ways we can manipulate objects. We can assign a new object, update the existing properties. We can assign a new properties, and yeah. So I know the last time we talked about loop within an object itself. So you can for object. I think the last time we talked about for loop, we talked about for using for loop. But yet for object, you typically use for in. So for every item in the object, then you can get each value or each key. So okay to use for in for object, not for array. So for array use for of, like I think we've done similar thing in the past. So just to demonstrate this, um, yes, let's say we want to print out all the value or properties in the key and value of the. So let's say so you can use for let um so let's say for each say for each key in let's just keep name in car. Then so what do we want to do? Just want to output the key and value or the key or whatever. It depends on whatever or what you need at that point. So if you want to output let's say for 8 key, we just want to print out the keys. So let's see what that'll do. So typically it just prints out all the keys like the name. Now remember we added the new properties called model. Now it's already printed out the property, and so we can also reformat it if you want. Okay, this is the key, and print out the key plus, let's say plus. There's several ways we can concatenate plus. You can use a plot, you can plus symbol. So we want to print out the key and the value. So what do we need to get the value? Can someone tell me? What can we do to get the value? Can someone help me, please? Yeah. Anyone?
I'm thinking, do you just put in the object name?
Mm-hmm.
Not the object
Okay.
name. Yeah.
Okay.
Dot and then whatever the um
That
why
one.
can't I think of it? Whatever the key is.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever the key, but we already have the key, so we can do
Not
maybe
key.
do
Yes.
yeah, dot key. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, it says undefined, undefined, undefined. So why is it undefined?
You tell
We have to
me.
use bracket notation?
Okay.
Maybe.
That's right. Oh, I think that works. So
There we go.
yeah. So we have the key and the value, the key and the value. So um so those are kind of the way we can iterate through objects. Also, we can also have, I know there are some cases where we can have some nested objects. We can have like a function within an object and all. Like, so let's proceed to the next one, assigning and copying an object. I think we've done something similar. Um, two two things. So the one way is to create an object using a new keyword. Don't know if you're familiar with that. It's basically called constructors. Constructors are like an instance of an object. So like so let me just proceed. A variable holds a reference to an object, assigning it to another variable. Just assign the reference, it's the same object. Basically when you create a new object and it's assigned into a variable in reference in memory. So you can easily copy the reference or copy the object. When you copy an object, you're referencing it to the same point in memory. So so using a const object variable is only a constant reference. It can't be reassigned. So this just telling us, I think we talked about difference between the let, const, and var. I think var is now obsolete or deprecated some kind of, but it's still being used. We've been advised not to use var. So using let is just to make a variable that can change. But we are using const. That means you are saying is a constant value that the value might not change. That's what it means. So there are different ways of copying. You can do shallow copy. So just like copy um, object or sign with the new object. You can use the spread operator with three dots, dot each we copy whatever we have here in into the new object. So it also works for array, yeah. You can also use string, JSON.stringify, um, and or deep copy parse JSON.stringify the new object. So there are several ways we can compare our object. You can use equal, triple equal to. Only check whether a variable is the same reference. So string.stringify a and this we do a deeper comparison. So I think let's demonstrate this before we proceed. So we're talking about copying basically. So there are different ways to copy an object. Imagine we have a car and do we want to say, let's say, let vehicle, we want to copy all the properties of this car. So what we can do, I think the easiest way is using the spread operator. We can just copy all whatever is in the car. By default, this we have all the values, and we can also add some other properties if we want. Like okay, let's say we have what other property do we have? Um, of course, let's just form. So let's say wheel. The wheel is 4. Of course, it should be 4. And if we print out this, what do we expect from this basically? I think I'm expecting to see console log. I'm expecting to see there it is. Yep. So I'm expecting to see everything log, including the new property of the wheel. So it has inherited all the properties of the car, so plus its own properties. So you can see what is being printed here. The name, the color, the doors, the model, and the wheel. So that's just an easy way to copy. So there are other ways to do the copy as demonstrated or described using JSON.stringify. I think we can just try those other ones. So let's try something. Imagine I take away this, and let's try to compare. Is car is it equals to vehicle? What will happen with that? It's false. So if you do this, what happen? It's still false. Why is it false? Because this we've created a new this we've reassigned it to a new variable, and this is pointing to a different value reference in the in memory. So we could also do like this is a deep comparison. So if you want to do deep comparison, let's say JSON does stringify, converting this to string, and also just copy this on the same var. Yeah. So it says equal. So is this equal? Yeah. Why is it equal? Can someone tell me why this could be equal? Or do we understand what this is doing basically? Do we understand what this is doing? Just in the stringify.
I don't really understand.
Okay. Let me explain. So
Okay.
basically this is an object. Now imagine you want to convert the object to a string. So let me output just this and see. This will be converted to or let's do something. Let JSON value or string car equals JSON. No. Yeah, I want to print two things. So the first thing I want to print is the type string car. So this and also the value console console a lot car no string car. So let's see. Let me click easy. Yeah. So you can see that the type of this is a string. So what this is doing is helping us to convert an object to a string value. So with that, uh, so we printed the value and it still gave us this value, which is now a string value. Not it's no more an object. So what it's doing is a deep comparison because they both contain the same value. If you print vehicle and car, you always get the same value. So it's easy, when you compare strings, they're all immutable. So it compare both string values. Now we are comparing values. But this other one, where is the other one? This equals to, I think I erased it already. This vehicle equals car. What it's comparing is the reference. Now, when you create an object, you create the reference in memory. But what this is doing is called deep comparison because it's comparing the value itself, the value of. So now we know that the value of the car and the vehicle are all the same because we copied the car into a vehicle, which is now referencing in a value in a reference. It will always create a reference in memory, basically. That's what it means. So I hope you understand what this means now. So it's basically just help us convert the value into a string, and now comparing the two string value will always be equal. I hope we got that right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Yes. So to proceed, where will we? Yep. So this is just about comparison and all. So next one we'll talk about is method and constructors. Yeah. So method, like I've already mentioned, constructors are like instance of an object. Instance of, or imagine you have a car. So another instance of a car will be you have a Toyota car, you have a Benz car, you have what other cars do we have? So we have different cars that can be generated or that can be categorized as a car. So instance is specific copy of a specific type of an object. So a method is a function. I think we've talked about function and method in the past, which is a property of an object. So also we have this is a special variable which refers to the current object instance. So a constructor is a function which creates an instance of a specific type of an object. Like, yeah, exactly. So imagine you have a car. This is a blue car. This is a black car. This is with four doors, 5 doors. So those specifics are being created using constructors, basically. So if you look at this example, it says my widget year, the size, the report, blah blah blah. So this report is now a function. It's a method within a function. The same way we can reference the key within the dot annotation, we can also reference the function using dot annotation. So that is that. So we can also do some demonstration before we go forward. Um, so so want to so let me go back to the doc again. There are two ways to create a constructor. We can use a new keyword. Most likely they're called new. Use a new keyword and to create a new object, like just like describe here. So there's a widget function. So let's say we have function. Second. This is an object. We already have an object. So let's say we have a constructor. We call it a car. What does the car do? So the car, using the constructor, we can create a different type of the car. Maybe the name, compare the name of the car, the color of the car, and how. So so now we can say, imagine we have actually using this, I need to create a property. So if you want to create the property of the car, so let me say we have, let's name. Let's say this is this. I just want to demonstrate this part of the and color. So this dot name and his name and the uh this the color equals to color. Yeah. So basically, I like just to demonstrate what a constructor is. This is a constructor. What does it do? It creates a new car with name and color, basically. You could just say, let's say, let's use instead of using a property similar to Java here. So you can use object. What's the object we want to create? So this should be like let me just copy something here. Yeah. This is out. Yeah. So if you look at the example that was given here, so when you're creating a constructor, you need to have the return statement there. That, okay, this is the object we want to create, and this is what is going to be returned. So basically, since we are creating a constructor with a different name and color, then we can return the constructor, basically return the object, the new object we're creating. So now, if you want to imagine you want to create a specific spec of a car. Let's say console log. Then we have new car. What we're going to do is create a new car. Then we pass the car, what car they want to create. They call it, let's say Benz, and the color is black. So if you run this, what happen? So it create for it what it does is it created a new car, a spec of a car called Benz, and the color is black. So basically, this is what they call a constructor. It's used to create a specific spec, a specific object or instance of an object. Yeah, this is just to demonstrate what the constructor is. Also, within the object, I think we can also have a method or a function. So like we said, object can have different properties. We can also have, imagine we also have, let's say function, what variable do you want to call it? Let me see, can, let's say, I'm just trying to, what function can we create? Uh, as, as five, let's just call it something, as 4 doors or something. So what will it do? This will return this will return a function. You can see a function. We need a function. Remember, we need a function, the function name, and so well, this will return. You just say false for now. This is just to demonstrate that within an object we can have the property key value, and also we can also have a can also have a function within object. So if we want to access the um so let me do this. I will bring out these bends equals this, and we want to print out bends. Oh, so if we print out bends, you will see that you will see what is being printed out. So now we have the bends, the name, the color, and does it have 4 doors? If it have 4 doors, then we can access, let's try to access that function. The same way we access, so we can say bends dot as 4 doors. So what happens if we do this? Yeah, it says false, because that's basically what we have here. So we can make it more complicated, but I think for now we can just proceed. Here, so that's just to demonstrate. Just let me know if you have a question. You can stop me at any time, please. So these are some of the more complex one. Typically, when you're dealing with APIs, like we said, JavaScript or JSON are used to represent the request and response. You can see a very complex uh, request, like different data or response. Like now, this has an array of the main ID, first name, last name, category, blah blah blah. So this is like an example of a complex one, like having a nested object basically. So an array with 2 items, the first one and the second one. It now also have some other property, messages, which is also an array, and a sussex, which is a boolean value, basically. Yeah. So JavaScript object can be any fixed of associative indexed array scalars, very flexible way to represent complex data structures. So type of this return object, this, okay, an array has, or like we also demonstrated, the type of an array, we did an array and it's returned an object. because an array itself in itself is an object. So flexible and convenient that it has become a data exchange. Yeah, like I said, JSON is now like a data exchange when you're dealing with APIs and to get requests and response from backend services. So almost all language support JSON now. It's native to JavaScript, basically. Yeah, so I think um yeah, I think this just to tell us the history of object. Objects were invented in the similar language in the 1960s, starting in 1962, a language designed for simulation, introduced the idea of object with name properties. Most languages now provide object in some form. Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any question at this point before we deep into more demonstrations? Yeah. Any question? Yep. Nope.
Not yet, thank you.
Okay, so I think we can I would like to take some challenges so I'll post some on the chat and maybe we can give it a try. Uh, the, 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 One second. Yeah, I think one other thing I wanted to talk about is how to delete. I think we are left to how to delete or remove maybe a property from the. We talk about how to access and update or add a new property, but what about if we want to remove an item from the cart or from wherever? So let's say we have. So let's go back to this one. So since we know that our car has, let's print out our cars and see. So if we look at what the car is at the moment. The car has, uh, is it this one? We added a model, yeah. We added the model to the car. Now, if we want to remove the model, how do we do that? Do you know that? Sorry, before I proceed, can someone tell me how to do that? Yeah,
We can use delete, right?
yeah, that's right. So we can just say, okay, delete. What do we want to delete? We want to delete the properties. So the property is a model. So what happens if we delete the model? So we can, let me just bring it again, bring it down. We can add delete and say, yeah, console. Let's see what the value of the new avatar will be. Print the car and let's see. Yeah, so we can see that at this point our car has a model, but at this point just let's remove the model from it. So um that's just what I remember that I think is left that I've not talked about. Um yeah, so let me see. Yeah, let's start with a simple one. Let's say where's the chart? Let's start with a simple one. I'm trying to do chart. Yeah, just post that on chat. Can we hide the function that an object and print out something like this? So it should be unique to maybe your name. So my name is this and I live in dash and I live in dash. Yeah. Can we do that? Actually, I'll be looking at the chat maybe. Yeah, are we trying this?
I'm working.
Oh, okay.
Did you ask how we can create an object that will
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
us this phrase? Okay.
Exactly. And just log out the phrase. My name is this, and
That was an accident. Ignore that.
oh, sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat as well. Yeah, compatible. Yeah. Do you have anyone done with it already? Let me pop this up. Yeah, Michael.
Formatting is tough in the Zoom chat, but I think that's okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just taking a look at that now. Anyone else?
I'm almost done.
Get coming. Johan. Sorry, I hope I pronounced that correctly. I think you tried, but looks like I was expecting you to create an object, not just properties like variables. So if you can have it like if you look at what Michael has done, creating a person object, so you can have it in those your variables in an object, and I think that should be sufficient. Yeah,
Yeah, I will use that again. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, nice one, Nisha. Yeah, Tara, just a comment. So I think we talked about const. Do you remember what we talked about const and let? So using const, yeah, okay, yeah, using const, the value. So are you assuming that the value will not change? Your object value will not change for this one?
Did you ask me, Tara?
Yeah.
What's your question?
I see that you use const user. Do you
Yes.
do you do you type on
Uh,
the ID, or was it typing on the chart directly?
no, I'm in P5JS editor, and then I
Ah,
copied
okay.
it and put it here.
Okay. So
I forgot the dollar signs.
yeah, because it looked like you did not try to run it and see it might have some compilation error. Like the const, I will assume that I should have after the user, I should have an equals to maybe, and yeah, try to see if you can run it and if it doesn't come up with any errors. Oh, you got that?
No.
Nope. Okay, one second.
I tried it with let, and I tried it with an equal sign.
Yeah, so this is your code I just copied in. Can you see from line 57? Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. It's most likely going to give a compilation error. So I was asking if you are using an IDE, because this, if you say const and a user, I'm assuming that there should be an equals to it. So when you declare a variable, you are assigning it to a value. The equals to say, okay, you are assigning an object to it. So trying to see if you're, I don't know what IDE or you are using. This is giving an error, and after the name, you're meant to put a comma. So with this, you have an object, and you also have an extra curly bracket. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, this should be, and you
Oh, the
missed it.
commas.
Say that again.
I forgot the commas.
Yeah, you forgot the commas and you forgot the equals to, and you forgot, like you said, you forgot the dollar signs here as well. Yeah. So that's a good one anyway. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for trying.
Yeah. I tried to do it fast.
Anyone else trying this? Yes, exactly. Thanks, Micah. But I think the effort really matters here. Thank you. Yeah, I think we've all tried. I know we are running out of time, but I wanted us to try one more before we go. One second. This should be an easy one anyway, because of the time. Let's see. I'm putting this on the chart again. So let's print out the first name. First name of the author. Do you see the chart?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a simple one, right? So this is an example of a nested object. So like an object inside an object. So let's see, just print out the value of author. Let's see, the first name of the author, yeah. I just need the console.log. Yeah. Good. Good. Hmm. Good try, Miguel. Yeah, you missed the book. Yeah. So it should be the book, yeah, then the author, then the name. Yeah. Thank you for trying. Yeah, that seems to be an easy one. But before we go, I need to give you the last one, and we can wrap it up. We can wrap it up. So imagine we have this. Then let's print out the students that scores above 70. So this will involve two things. So we've done the loop, we've done conditional statements. So those two things need to be considered why when solving this one. So you can ask me if not something is not clear. Yeah. Or do we want to take that away? Maybe you can share with me on Slack. Or do we have someone already solved this? Do you want to take this away from the session and kind of post it to me on Slack maybe? Is it fine?
Yeah, maybe so.
Nishal, are you sure this run currently? I'm just seeing some compilation error there. Nisha, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't run it through the compiler, so I just
I don't know. I don't know. We need to run and test it.
yeah, yeah,
That part of development, you need to test the code, ensure it runs fine. That's
yeah,
how
I'll
we
do.
can,
Sorry
yeah,
about that.
no problem. Yeah, because I just saw that you're missing the let in the key. So the key most likely gonna give compilation error. Yeah, so I think that's it. So I think we can wrap up this session here. So if you want to share with me on Slack, you can share with me, you can look at it. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for joining today's session. Let's enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah, cheers, bye.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks,
Good week.
you.
Yeah. Cheers, bye.
Thanks, Zan. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Take care.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.